So when you're going through and you're testing your live stream setup, you do want to pay attention to a few things. The first thing is to just make sure that you are clicking on all of the right buttons that you would actually use in a real show so that you're understanding the flow of the process. That's why we put everything in a sequential order. So we're only having to click from one scene to the next, to the next, to the next, and everything is having a nice and normal flow. So you're not constantly bouncing around or things are disorganized in a way that you're confused at what you're looking at or what something that you created maybe weeks ago actually does and will help to use in a stream or not for today. The other thing that you want to test for is making sure the sounds that you have scheduled are actually playing, making sure that if a guest is speaking, they can be heard and what those volumes are at. One of the things that you'll notice is that sometimes the way things sound to you on your computer and your systems based on the volume levels that you have your headphones set to is not always the same as what your audience has. And you want to make sure that your audience is getting a good audible experience for yourself as well as for your guests. So that's why we want to be very particular about the music that we play and things like that, and the volumes even, so it's not overpowering the voice per any one person or anything like that. This will also give you insights into your computer's performance for all of the things that you're trying to do. Sometimes if you, let's say, have a MacBook Air, it's not something that's going to efficiently run the program in the way that it's designed to. But if you have something like a Mac Mini or a really good MacBook Pro, then you should be fine. And that's just to say that not that you can't use it at times, but understanding what the limitations are based on your computer's performance and what it actually can handle. And so it's not always an Ecamm related thing. It may be something related to your computer. But once you've done your test, you can actually go through and do recorded tests. Whatever that recorded file is picking up is generally what your audience is going to hear. But you really just want to make sure that you're successfully able to get everything that you set up inside of Ecamm out to your designated audience in the way that you designed. And when it comes to your preferences of what you're using within Ecamm, you do want to make sure that you're going to these other tabs in your preferences area that can be found by the gear wheel here, over here in your settings. When you're coming up here, you'll be able to see that for Facebook, you can say show the title field, disallow or allow embedding depending on what you prefer, the business page settings, and select from a myriad of options depending on what you have here. If you want to automatically cross post to any specific things, then you would need to go through their page settings here where you can get more details on that. Sponsor ID if you need that for branded content posts. When it comes to LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, and so forth, you will need to make changes as well, depending on the platform use or where you want to stream to. When it comes to YouTube, you will need to select the area or YouTube category that best fits where you are. For me, that's in the education space, but here is just a general synopsis of the basic things that you will see, and pick whatever is closest for your overall channel, not per stream. The other thing with YouTube is the stream latency here that you'll see it selected to normal, low latency, and so forth, or selected for kids, so that those are your baseline preferences when it comes to social accounts and things like that. And otherwise, that's pretty much it when it comes to being signed in on your social platforms. So now that you have your different accounts signed in and you're linked up, as well as making sure your preferences are dialed in per platform, and depending on what options may be available there, make sure if you're doing restream options that you are thinking about your overall audience as a whole. So when you say something like hit the heart button, only people on certain platforms understand that language or have access to actually truly hit that specific button. Whereas people, let's say on YouTube, only have the thumbs up and the thumbs down, and that's all they have access to. So be sure that you're using general terminology that makes sense if you're simulcasting, but that way you're keeping your audience engaged and operating as a unit instead of making them feel isolated depending on what platform they are. But I definitely want to dive into some of the best practices and strategies when you're live streaming. So let's jump into the next module.